That hands down has been the best final that we have seen across the regions around the world. And Jacob, I'll say this one for you, BDS takes it.
The meme has transcended. It's no longer a meme. It's a way of life. I actually don't think I want to wear this jersey anymore. I think I need to sign it, frame it, maybe sell it, but I also just need to show everyone that I've sold my soul to the Church of Memes. All joking aside, let's go ahead and talk about the 6 August Major 2020, an event that was originally scheduled to take place somewhere in North America as a LAN. For health reasons, it was separated into a 3-week extravaganza instead, and everyone really made the most of it. I just noticed I had to fix a curtain. I never touch these curtains, so the fact that I have to fix one is who is in my room? We saw a total of 7 regions play through their major brackets to claim their share of a $500,000 prize pool and as many 6 invitational global standings points as they could get their hands on. Because we couldn't host a true LAN event, 7 regional brackets were played online and crowned just as many champions. Cloud9, Wildcard, Estral Esports, Union Gaming, Ninjas in Pajamas, Dark Zero Esports, and BDS Esport. I'm hesitant to call them major champions because that's typically reserved for winning an international competition, but these teams' victories should not be discredited. That EU Grand Final especially was an incredible series. Because BDS took... Let's do mini breakdowns of each one real fast. There was so much Siege happening this month, it's really not easy to keep track of everything. Beginning with APAC North, their bracket didn't really make that much sense to me. We had a total of 6 teams, all ranked by seeding, and the top 2 teams got first round buys. It would have made the winner of the number 3, number 6 game play the number 1 seed after the bye. In this case, it would have been the winner of Guts Cyclops playing Giants Gaming and not Cloud9. I see this format all the time in the NFL playoffs. I don't know why it wasn't used correctly here, but it doesn't change the fact that I also should have looked at Ubi's website to do my predictions. They listed who all was playing, and I just didn't look hard enough. Regardless, I still expected a Giants win, but Cloud9 took a surprising upset in the finals to beat them out. That's nuts considering they had a really rocky stretch from since before they were picked up by C9 to now. I've been rooting for them for a while since they've always seemed like an underdog team, so I was okay with getting this prediction wrong. The thing I don't get is how Giants let that final slip away from them that hard. Getting 7-0'd on that last map must be the most embarrassing thing. Oceania went about as expected, with Wildcard winning the whole thing. The only thing I didn't see coming was Okami getting dropped by the Pittsburgh Knights in that preliminary final. Both maps were still really close, but it looked more like Okami was losing to their own mistakes rather than the Knights making a lot of counter adjustments. Personally, I still think Okami's the better team, but they just seemed like they had an off day, and it cost them a Grand Finals appearance. South Asia, we knew, was going to be an introduction for all of us to a region we hadn't seen before. I made my predictions blind, as I'm sure most everybody did, but I was really surprised at the quality of play that we saw from that Grand Final. Every map went the full 12-round distance, even though the series was won 3-0 by Union Gaming. Part of me wants to do some VOD review or some additional analysis on that region to see if there's something in their playstyle that sets them apart from other regions. There's usually always some defining factor. It's my job to watch Siege, and I wasn't watching Siege hard enough. I have failed this city. But right now, take it from me and from them, Union Gaming is currently the kings of South Asia until proven otherwise. Moving into Latin America, Mexico, I was really happy to see get an English broadcast from Blue and Stokes. I didn't think we'd have a chance for any casting in English, but this was a welcome surprise. It was also really entertaining to hear them say Pixie, Skimsy, Toski, and Fungi over and over again. I don't know why the Mexicans love their I names so much. This was the only other game that I got right, as Estral clinched the win and did it while only dropping 1 map in overtime to Timbers. Mexico as a region has a lot of connections to North America. It's not uncommon to find North American teams scrimming Mexican ones, and I think overall, that's something that can help strengthen the region as a whole. They've had national programs for several seasons now, but I'm hoping Mexico can turn into like a diamond in the rough region for the Siege landscape. Remember when Empire burst onto the scene and we got all this exposure to how the Russians play? I think Mexico has the same potential, and right now, we're seeing Estral lead the charge. Brazil didn't go the way anybody expected, I think. The Grand Final was exactly the opposite of what I said it was, because it turns out Team 1 wasn't nearly as ready for a major as their BR6 record might have suggested. They got dropped on the first day, and Liquid lost on the second, but despite losing out, I still think, personally, Liquid would have given NIP a much harder fight in the Grand Final than FaZe Clan did. NIP blasted through the whole bracket, only losing 1 map, and they looked like they had FaZe's number both times they played and just kept beating the shit out of them. And right after the grand final was over, the news came in that Mav was no longer with FaZe Clan, and now they're looking for a new 5th player. I was really hoping that they could have won with him on the team, as he's always been one of my favorites to watch in LATAM, but I wish him the best wherever he goes next, and hope that we get an announcement soon. But for now, Ninjas in Pajamas sit atop that Brazilian mountain, and no joke, since Invite, that team actually does look scary as hell. North America, I don't even want to talk about my predictions, dude. Though I am going to give North America the award for the best matches of the major, solely because of those 2 lower bracket series. SSG versus OXG and SSG versus TSM are must-watch games if you haven't seen them already, even though none of these teams would be the ones that would win. Dark Zero Esports, the team that came from the major qualifier, the one that I had the most doubts in, shut me up in the best way possible. They lost 1 close map to SSG in their first series, then won 6 straight over the next 3 series and looked absolutely unstoppable. I was getting flashbacks to their performance from Season 10. That's how unbeatable these guys looked. They also handed TSM their own ass on a silver platter in 2 straight games. So much so that I almost thought we were watching NIP versus FaZe from the previous week. Their major trajectories looked nearly identical. But if I may, Dark Zero winning out says a lot about how they were able to prepare for game day, and doesn't suggest to me that either SSG or TSM have necessarily slipped that much. It was DZ doing good and not other teams that were doing bad, but that's just my take. And finally, the greatest game that has ever been played, the one that shot that jersey's value through the roof. Let's talk about Europe. Rogue just didn't come to play, and suffice it to say, I'm never going to predict them to do anything substantial in a major again, because they just love disappointing people. Virtus Pro showed off a very aggressive style of play that makes them really fun to watch, and hopefully this event can help raise their stock in regards to where they sit in Europe. They've effectively taken the Kings of Russia crown from Team Empire, and they've got a lot of room to keep on growing. But BDS and G2, remember when I said SSG versus TSM was NA's best rivalry? I think we could be turning a very similar leaf with these 2 teams in Europe. BDS literally had to complete the 3-map reverse sweep to win the whole thing, and overall it turned that whole major grand final into one of the best series of the whole year. It was also the only grand final of the whole major that wasn't over in 2 maps because we had to use all 4, and it's the first time since Youngtis in Year 1 Season 2 that an all-French team has won a Tier 1 event. And another fun fact, Shiro was on both of those teams, and he played like he was cracked on rain the whole weekend. If you have not seen this game yet, go back and do it. Do it right now! Congratulations are in order for BDS and everyone else who walked away with a major win. If you asked me to rank all of the winners, I know none of you asked me to do this, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. I'm not gonna give ratings or grades for anything, but if this is a current representation of the best Siege teams across every region, then I think this is how everyone would stack up. Talking about international competition is obviously impossible at the moment, but fear not, this just means that I won't be cursing any of your favorite teams into the ground for another 3 months. Unless Dezichu does it before I do. We're starting a club of who can literally have the worst predictions. And so far, I think it's me. So, with the major out of the way, we are now in the midst of the transfer period and should hopefully start seeing more roster shuffle news coming out over the next couple of weeks. So, hit up my Twitter, my Twitch, and this YouTube channel for all the information as it unfolds, because we're bringing the news videos back, and let me know in the comments what your favorite matches of the major were. There's a lot of rewatchability here, and we definitely should remember how hard everyone worked to make this event happen. I'll see you later. Piff!